Downloaded. Fuel, time and load. Calculate. Thrust limit. Calculate. Departure meter. Check and note. Arrival weather. Check and note. Weight, balance and fuel. Checked. Parking brake. Set. Landing gear lever. Down. Speed brake lever. Down detent. Flap lever. Up. Manual gear extension access door. Closed. Battery. On/guard closed. Standby power switch. Auto/guard closed. Generators drive disconnect switches. Guard closed. Bus transfer switch. Auto/guard closed. Ground power. On. IRS mode selectors. Off, then NAV. ELT switch. Off/guard closed. Service interphone switch. Off. EDC switches. On/guard closed. Passenger oxygen switch. Normal/guard closed. Landing gear indicator lights. Illuminated. Mark airspeed warning test switch 1.
172 2 Sierra Papa.
Push. Mark airspeed warning test switch 2. Push. Stall warning test switch 1. Push. Stall warning test switch 2. Push. Verify your measurement units LBS/kgs. Check. Extras, others set chalk. On. Verify that the model and the NG rating is correct. Check. Verify that the navigation database active date range is current. Check. Verify that the time is correct. Check. Enter the present position on the SETIRSPOS line.
Center 2 Juliet Romeo.
2 Juliet Romeo. You're aboard Long Better. Altimeter 2992.
You're aboard Long Better. Altimeter 29922 Juliet Romeo.
Set.
2
Enter
Juliet
the origin
Romeo.
and
Fly
destination.
heading 110.
Fly heading 1102 Juliet Romeo.
2 Juliet Romeo. Fly heading 160.
Fly heading 1602 Juliet Romeo.
Set. Enter the flight number.
172 2 Sierra Papa. Fly heading 350.
Fly heading 350 172 2 Sierra Papa.
Set. Enter, activate and execute the route.
One 172, 2, Sierra, Papa, fly heading 020, report the field in sight.
Fly heading 020. Report the field in sight. 172 2 Sierra Papa. Center 172 2 Sierra Papa.
172, 2, Sierra, Papa, cleared visual approach, runway 3, contact tower on 118.60.
Cleared visual approach, runway 3, contact tower on 118.60. 172 2 Sierra Papa.
Set and execute. Select and execute the runway and departure routing. Select and execute. Verify route and clear discontinuity as needed. Check. Enter the ZFW, press SLK1. Set. Enter fuel reserves. Set. Enter cost index. Set. Enter trip/CRZ alt. Set. Enter CRZ wind. Set. Enter is a dev or T/coat. Check. Enter transalt. Check. Verify that the fuel is sufficient for flight. Check. Verify speed and altitude restrictions and modify as needed. Check. Select an assumed temperature or a fixed depth takeoff, or both as needed. Select. Select a full or a derated climb thrust as needed. Select. Enter T/OFF flaps position. Set. Enter the CG. Enter. Verify that a trim value is shown. Check. Select or enter the takeoff V-speeds. Select. IRS alignment is complete. Check. Yaw damper. On. Alternate flaps position switch. Off. VHF/NAV transfer SW. Normal. IRS transfer SW. Normal. FMC transfer SW. Normal. Display source selector SW. Auto. Display control panel select SW. Normal. Crossfeed selector. Closed. Fuel pumps. Off. Test switch, hold to. Fault/in-op. Test switch, hold to. On/fire. Extinguisher test switch. Position 1 and release. Extinguisher test switch. Position 2 and release. CAB/util power switch. On. IFE/pass seat power switch. On. APU start, hold switch for 3 seconds. On. APU generators. On. Ground power. Disconnect. Equipment cooling switches. Normal. Emergency exit light switch. Armed/guard closed. Seatbelt sign. Auto on. Windshield wiper selectors. Park. Window heat PWR test. Done. Window heat off. Done. Window heat switches. On. Probe heat switches. Off. Wing anti-ice switch. Off. Engine anti-ice switches. Off. Engine hydraulic pumps. On. Electric hydraulic pumps. Off. AIR temperature source selector. As needed. Trim air switch. On. Temperature selectors. As needed. Recirculation fan switches. Auto. Air conditioning pack switches. Auto. Isolation valve switch. Open. Engine bleed switches. On. Approved bleed. On. Flight altitude indicator. Cruise altitude. Landing altitude indicator. Destination field elevation. Pressurization selector. Auto. Landing light switches. Retract and off. Runway turn off light switches. Off. Taxi light switch. Off. Ignition select switch. INL or R. Engine start switches. Auto. Anti-collision light switch. Off. Wheel well light switch. As needed. Course S. Set. Flight directors. On. Bank angle selector. As needed. Autopilot disengage bar. Up. Minimums reference selector. Radio or barrow. Minimums selector. This is height or alt ref. Flight path vector switch. As needed. Meters switch.
Juliet, Romeo.
As needed. Barometric
Juliet,
reference
Romeo.
selector.
Uniform launch better. Altimeter 2992.
Unit aboard Glonvet, altimeter 2992.
In HPA. Barometric selector. QNH. VOR/ADF switches. As needed. Mode selector. Map. Center switch.
2 Juliet Romeo. Fly heading 110.
Fly heading 110 Juliet Romeo.
As needed. Range selector.
2 Juliet Romeo. Fly heading 160.
As
Fly
needed.
heading
Traffic switch.
2 Juliet Romeo.
As needed. Weather radar. Off. Master lights. Test. AP disconnect lights cap test 1. Check. AP disconnect lights cap test 2. Check. Flap inhibit switch. Guard closed. Gear inhibit switch. Guard closed. Terrain inhibit switch. Guard closed. Landing gear lever. Down. Auto brake selector. RTO. N1 SET selector. Auto. Speed reference selector. Auto. Fuel flow switch. Reset, then rate. Test switch. Push. VHF communications radios. Set. VHF navigation radios. Set for departure. Transponder. Standby. CDU display. Set. N1 bugs. Check. Auto throttle. Arm. IOS/mark selector. Set V2. Arm LNAV. As needed. Arm VNAV. Set. Initial heading. Set. Initial altitude. Set. Taxi and takeoff briefings. Complete. Start clearance. Obtain. Fuel pumps left and right. On. Fuel pump center.
Center 172, 3 Mike Delta.
172, 3 Mike Delta.
On.
Climb and maintain.
System electric
9,000.
hydraulic pump.
Climb and maintain 9,000. 172, 3 Mike Delta.
172, 3 Mike Delta. You're aboard launch better. Altimeter 2992.
Unit aboard Glonbet, altimeter 2992, 172,
As
3
needed.
Mike Delta.
System B electric hydraulic pump. On. Anti-collision lights. On. Stabilizer trim. Set. Aileron and rudder trims. Check 0 units. CDU extras, others set chock. Off. Transponder. As needed.
2
Air
Juliet.
conditioning
Romeo.
packs.
Heading 210. Vectors for the visual. Runway 3. Descend and maintain 4,000.
Fly heading 210. Vectors for the visual. Runway 3.
Off.
Descend and
Engine
maintain
1 start switch.
4,002 Juliet Romeo.
Ground. Engine 1 start lever.
Two Juliet. Romeo. You're aboard launch better. Altimeter 2992.
Unit aboard Glonbet, altimeter 29922 Juliet Romeo.
Idle. Engine 1.
Two Juliet. Romeo. Fly heading 2
Stable idle.
0.
Engine
Descend
2
and
start
maintain
switch.
3,000.
Ground. Engine
Fly
2
heading
start lever.
200. Descend and maintain 3,002 Juliet Romeo.
Idle. Engine 2. Stable idle. System electric hydraulic pump. On.
172,
Engine generators.
3 Mike Delta. Fly heading 070.
Fly heading 070. 172 3 Mike Delta.
On.
172.
Probe heat
3
switches.
Mike Delta. Resume on navigation.
Resume on navigation 172 3 Mike Delta.
On. Anti-ice switches. As required. Air conditioning pack switches. Auto. Isolation valve switch. Auto. Pressurization selector. Auto. Appoo bleed. Off. Appoo switch. Off. Engine start switches. Cont. Flaps. Take off. Trims. Take off. Flight controls.
Two
Check.
Juliet. Romeo.
Taxi
Fly heading
clearance.
290.
Obtain. Taxi
Fly
lights.
heading 2902 Juliet Romeo.
On. Runway turn off lights. as required. Parking brake. Release. Brakes test. Press and release. V-card speed bugs. Set. Taxi lights. Off. Fixed landing lights. On. Position lights. Strobe and steady. Transponder. tar/ra. Weather radar. On. Heading bug. Set runway heading. Flight directors. On.
2 Juliet Romeo. Fly heading 350.
Fly heading 3502 Juliet Romeo.
Juliet Romeo. Fly heading 020. Report the field in sight.
Fly heading 020. Report the field in sight. 2 Juliet Romeo. Center 2 Juliet Romeo.
2 Juliet Romeo. Clear visual approach. Runway 3. Contact tower on 118.60.
Cleared visual approach. Runway 3. Contact tower on 118.602 Juliet Romeo.